Today I'm going to talk a little about paying for your utilities, paying for maintenance fees, housekeeping, sending money to Mexico from outside of Mexico, and other money tips for navigating owning property in or living in Mexico. So for anyone buying a place here in Zihuatanejo or somewhere else in the country, one of the initial concerns people ask me is how they'll pay their bills. This has gotten easier over time, thankfully, but your condo or home expenses could include housekeeping, water, internet, cable, gas, electricity, property management, HOA dues, emergency expenses that could come up as well. So let's start with utilities. CFE is the state-owned utility that almost the entire country uses for electricity. Telmex and Megacable are the most common internet utilities, and in Zihuatanejo, Capaz is the water utility. If you use Megacable for internet or cable, then you can set it up with auto pay with any credit card of your choosing. If you use Telmex, the easiest way is to pay through the Telmex app on your phone. With CFE, you can pay through the CFE website with a credit card, and you can also set up for auto pay. I've found for Telmex and CFE, which we use for both our properties here, that the only credit card that consistently works for us is an American Express. For us living in Mexico, we use the Hilton Honors American Express card, and this has really saved us. I'll give you a couple of reasons why we like it, and if you don't have it and want to get it, I'll put a link in the notes. This is obviously a referral plug, but it is actually the card that we use for these reasons as well. First off, there is no annual fee. When you sign up, you get 100,000 points, which is good for stays at Hilton properties. We've twice stayed at Hilton in LA at a cost about 33,000 points, and we spent 3 nights over 2 separate trips to Guatemala at the Hilton Guatemala City, and that was 10,000 points a night. So that really worked out in our favor. But a huge benefit of having it here in Mexico is there are no foreign transaction fees, and it's the only card that works for us with Telmex and CFE. Paying for water is a bit more difficult, but it's not terrible. You have to pay in person, but you can pay some months in advance, and you can also pay by a credit card. The CFE and water bills are delivered by mail, in that someone will drop the bill off at your property. In the condo, our building administrator sends copies of the bills to owners. Our CFE bill is also delivered by email, and we can log into our account online also to see the bills. But for water, if you pay 3 or 6 months in advance, then you won't get a bill until you have a balance due again. From what I understand, there isn't a grace period to be late with your utility bills. It's important to pay on time, or things could get shut off pretty quickly if you're late. And just assume it's going to be a pain in the ass to get things turned back on if they turn them off. When it comes to gas, if you're in a condo, then again, the admin should keep an eye and refill your gas tank as needed. If you have a house, then you'll need to keep an eye on your propane gas tank and have the gas truck come out when you're low. The tank at our house here holds 150 liters, and we go through 50 to 100 liters a month. Mexico is a cash economy. You may have seen a video. We were just in Rio, Brazil, and all of the street vendors there have credit card machines. Mexico isn't quite there yet, especially when dealing with plumbers, housekeepers, electricians, pool maintenance guys, handyman, you're going to be paying in some form of cash. If you have property here, then you should have a Mexican bank account, and if you don't, you need to open one. I'm definitely not I'm not a Mexican, but I'm not an expert in Mexican banks. But it seems that most expats use Intercam Bank, and that's what we use. If you're working with someone regularly and they have a bank account, then we find it easiest just to transfer the money from our bank to their bank. It's great because there's a paper trail, a receipt of payment. It's pretty easy to and simple to set it up from your computer, and then you can just transfer the money via the bank app on your phone. Again, we're only familiar with Intercam, but it works well and it's secure and it's safe. You can send money from Intercam to any other Mexican bank account. There are two other forms of payment that I know of if bank transfer isn't an option. Number one, pay in cash. And number two, send cash from your bank outside the US to a store in Mexico for customer pickup. Paying in cash obviously is super simple, and if you have someone come fix your toilet, then this is pretty cut and dry. If you need to send money to someone and you aren't in Mexico, or they don't have a bank account, which has happened to us, or you want some sort of receipt of the amount paid, then there are a few apps that work well. In the United States, Zelle, PayPal, Venmo are all pretty common forms of payment. Venmo and Zelle only work in the United States. Here I'll give you 3 apps that will work for sending cash from your foreign bank account to someone in Mexico. We've used Remitly, but Wise and Zoom are also fine options. You'll send money from your bank account in the US or wherever you're based outside of Mexico to a location near the recipient. We have sent it to Soriana or Copal, but there's like 100 locations in town that will help facilitate this transfer. We've used it to send money to a housekeeper or property manager while we're traveling out of the country. You'll pay about a 3 or 4, maybe 5% fee of the transfer to send the money, but the recipient just has to show an ID to pick up the money. Our friends once needed to pay their realtor here some money and sent the money via Remitly to Soriana and asked me to pick it up. I thought they were going to get me killed as the lady at the customer service counter in the mega Soriana grocery store publicly counted out 24,000 pesos and handed it to me to walk out of the store and onto my ATV. If you're sending a large amount of cash to be picked up, maybe confirm that the recipient is okay with handling the cash and walking out of the store. I think that covers the basics. If I missed anything, let me know. Again, I'm definitely not an expert, but these are the things we've learned over the last 4 or 5 years. And if there's another theme that I should cover, please comment below. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care.